last episode, Rick, we were talking about obviously Joe Bonamassa, but we mentioned a movie, and I've seen clips of it,
Yep.
and you said it was really good. So I went out, I think that night or the next night, I went out and I searched for it, and I couldn't find it on Netflix, and I don't think I looked for it on Apple TV, but I did find it on Amazon Prime.
Cool.
It wasn't free. I think it was like $4, but it's called It Might Get Loud. It's a 2008 movie with Jimmy Page and Jack White, which you knew that. We couldn't think of the third person, and that's The Edge.
Yep.
From U2.
Okay.
And I don't know why I didn't get that. Like, I should have known that. But anyway, that's where the three of them discuss electric guitar and their musical influences. And it's actually really good. I like how that movie starts out where it's Jack White, like out in the middle of nowhere. He's got like a 2x4, a glass Coke bottle, and a string and a couple nails. And he's got it hooked up to an amplifier. And I'm not going to say it sounded great, but it sounded pretty cool.
Yep. I know. Go ahead.
Is this a movie or a documentary?
Both.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's actually pretty good. You should take a look at it.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it was like $4 or $3 and some change on Amazon Prime to rent, and I had some account credit for one of my recent purchases, so it actually only cost me like 78 cents. But I might
That's
nice.
But I might go see if it's out there on Apple TV, and if it is, maybe purchase it, because I'd like to watch it again. It was pretty interesting.
Yep. There's a lot of movies like that out there. A lot of documentaries on different things and different groups and how they got started.
Well, you're going to have to bring those up when you think of them so that I can look them up. Like I said, I've seen clips on the Instagram Reels and on YouTube or whatever, but I've never seen the movie till recently. It was pretty good.
There is one on the Eagles, and I think it's a 3-part series, and it's also something very similar in how they got the band together and the different people that were in the band and stuff like that. It's actually really good, too.
Speaking of the Eagles, I have I guess it's not really a funny story, but I do have a story to tell because the Eagles were just recently here in the Des Moines area, just like a week.
$500.
Yeah, but
Whoa.
I'm gonna talk about that here in just a second. Welcome back to the Pandemic Guitar Podcast. This show is all about guitars, guitar music, and those who make the songs we like. I'm Tim, and over there on microphone number 2 is Rick.
How you doing, everybody?
And signing in from the remote microphone, it's microphone number 3, Amanda.
Hello.
Hello, everybody. So real quick, going back to the Eagles, I really wanted to go see them because that's probably the last opportunity that I would get to see them, but we did just go to the other concert, and the tickets were like $500. The wife was watching the website, and literally 45 minutes before the concert began, those seats dropped to like $225 each.
Wow.
Still ridiculous, but a lot better than $500. And if it wasn't for the fact that I was so tired and it still was $225, I might have jumped in the car and went.
That's nothing
Yeah,
compared to the Taylor Swift tickets. Did you hear about that?
Oh, I know a little bit about it. What do you know?
Yeah. They're going like for 17,000, 20,000 and up. And a lot of people are blaming Ticketmaster for that one.
But was Ticketmaster the one actually trying to sell the ticket for 17 grand?
That's my understanding.
Because I've always wondered this on some of these concerts, especially like at the state fair. I almost feel like there's people that go out and they'll buy like 10 tickets and, they'll pay $100 for a ticket, and then they'll turn around and sell them secondhand for whatever they want, $250 or what. I don't know if that's what really happens, but I kind of feel like it does.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I just remember I saw screenshots of the actual Ticketmaster website where it was like $17K, $25K for one ticket. People are losing their minds over it.
I did see, I don't know if it was on the news or I don't remember where I saw it, but I did see some video clips of people just, losing their minds, like having a mental breakdown because they couldn't get their Tay-Tay tickets.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, it was crazy. I probably would have paid a little bit more attention to it, but it was Taylor Swift. Like, Taylor Swift is good, but
don't understand the hype personally. I wouldn't listen to Taylor Swift in the bathroom, let alone pay $17,000 for a ticket to see her in person. It's just not my thing. It's not my thing.
Yeah, it's not my thing either. But even if it was my thing, there's no way that I would pay that kind of money for a ticket, whether I had the money or not.
I could buy a lot of guitars with that.
True.
A lot.
True.
Yeah.
Unless they're Gibsons, then you can buy like 3.
3.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Or maybe 1.
Yeah, or 1. Yeah. No, you wouldn't. Whose guitar was it that was on sale for like 40? It was on auction, like 40 grand or something. Was that Kurt Cobain's?
I think so. Yeah.
Maybe you could get with like 4 friends and you can like have guitar custody battles over it. You know, you get it this week, somebody gets it the next week.
There you go.
As always, you can reach out to us in 2 ways. One is on Instagram at Pandemic Guitar or email pandemicguitar@icloud.com. That's where you can let us know what you think about the show, give us some show ideas, and of course, as always, ask questions. And it sounds like this week might have been a little slow for questions.
We did not get any questions this week. But we do have just a couple of things that are kind of happened recently in the news. One of them actually kind of relates to the last podcast when you guys talked about your recap going to the John Bonamassa concert. Apparently Joe, not John,
did I hear that
Joe. Right? I didn't go to the concert, clearly. Joe Bonamassa has apparently quit social media.
Wow.
I did see that, and it would have been nice if you were in town because that was a really good concert.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Did you guys take any video? Because I didn't get anything. Or could you not take video?
No, we probably could have gotten away with taking a few pictures or some video, but you're not supposed to. So
gotcha.
We decided not to break the rules.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I posted episode number 8 on Instagram, and I tagged Joe, and I was shocked, but I wasn't shocked that I didn't see any reaction there. You know, no thumbs up, no thank you, no nothing. And I know that he wasn't the main person handling his social media. It sounds like a couple people were flipping garbage or, you know what people do on social media.
Yep.
So they were giving him a hard time and he decided to just get rid of his account?
Well, no, he didn't get rid of the account. I can't remember exactly how it went. I read the article and it sounded like somebody made a comment about his haircut or something like that. It was just really negative. And so he kind of snipped back and was like, yeah, well, I'm going to be on stage tonight in front of thousands of people entertaining them. What are you doing? And so he erased that, I believe, and came back and was like, yeah, no, social media is a distraction. I don't want to have anything to do with it. So any more posts that are on his profile are not going to be directly from him. They're going to be from the social media manager.
Gotcha.
So I get it. Have you ever just sat there and looked at, I do it with Facebook. Like I don't want to be on here.
Right. And you get into like a downward spiral with it, like
Yep.
videos and reels and everything, and somebody's dog driving a little car and little dog with a sombrero, right?
Right.
Or is that just me? That's probably me.
No. I get sucked into the cat videos. So that's why we're not on Facebook. We're just on Instagram because I can just watch videos and post stuff, and I don't have to, if I don't like what I see, I can just keep moving on.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
All right. So that's what's going on with Joe and his social media.
Well, that's a bummer.
Yeah. I don't blame him though. I mean,
What?
he wants to get on stage and he wants to be in a good mood and he wants to put on a good show for the people who bought tickets. If you are frustrated and upset because of social media, that's going to carry on to stage and your
Right.
fans are not going to get what they paid for.
Right.
But I mean, if I was that famous, I wouldn't even look at my comments, you know? Why would you care? Just post, turn your comments off, just ignore them, turn your notifications off.
Yeah, I agree with you, but that's why you have a social media manager. They handle
True.
that. Because if you're not interacting with your followers, then they're not really going to be followers.
True. I guess it depends how big of a star you are, because there's plenty of them out there who absolutely do not interact with anyone
Sure.
at all. But
Yeah.
It happens.
yeah.
So what else you got?
Yeah, so the next piece of recent news, Dolly Parton played a $99 mini electric guitar at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction ceremony. Was that the
Nice.
project guitar, Dad? Did you give that to her?
No. I don't know her personally,
Okay.
but I like that.
So that
yeah.
just goes to prove it doesn't matter how much you spend on a guitar, right?
Well, you got to think about this. I mean, I'm sure she had it professionally set up. She has a way she wants to play it and a way it's set up. I mean, I'm sure she had maybe the frets leveled, basically a complete setup on the guitar. She's just not going to take it out of the box and go up on stage with it. So I would say that, yeah, it's a $99 guitar, but
It was customized, like it was bejeweled or
Yeah.
rhinestoned or whatever. So, I mean, yeah, it
Yeah.
was taken out of the box and somebody went through it and customized it for her. So, yeah,
Right.
it probably came off the shelf as a $100 guitar, but by the time she played it, it was probably a $2,000 guitar.
Right.
yeah, it's the same thing as the project guitar.
Yeah.
You
Well-
think it's worth $2,000 now?
No.
Oh, okay.
That's what
I
we're
was
going
gonna
to sell
say.
it for. We're going to sell it for that. No, I actually really like this story. I went out. This was on Guitar World, is where I saw it, and that was apparently the big deal because everybody else is out there showboating really fancy, expensive equipment, and then here comes Dolly Parton on a $99 Mitchell guitar.
It was a Mitchell.
Mhm.
It was a Mitchell. It kind of is nice because I'm a fan of inexpensive guitars because they don't hurt the bank. I don't necessarily need to be as careful with them. If I had a $2,500 guitar, I would probably like wrap myself in bubble wrap before I played it,
Yep.
because you can't just wrap the guitar because then it won't play. So yeah, I really like that, and I've actually played an acoustic Mitchell, and I think it was $120 for a kit or something like that, and I was actually really impressed with the way that it played and the way that it sounded.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm kind of thinking maybe Mitchell is not really that bad of a brand.
No, a lot of bang for the buck on that guitar.
Oh yeah.
So, I mean, I hear a lot of professionals. I mean, you can find YouTube videos out there. A lot of professionals go out and they buy cheap guitars and they fix them up and they say they play great and they use them all the time. Not on stage all the time, but even in bar type situations, playing at the bar or something like that, they would rather have a cheap guitar. If it drops or it falls or something happens to it, it's a lot cheaper to fix because they can just throw it away
Well,
if need be.
right. And let's not forget who Dolly Parton is, right? Very humble person.
Sure.
Came from a very poor uprising.
Yep.
So I'm sure that a $99 guitar that sounds and plays well is a steal.
That it is.
Just because you have a whole amusement park with your name on it doesn't mean you can't still enjoy some of the less finer things in life, I guess. I don't know.
True. I'd like to know how much the guitar really cost her after it was done.
Well, that's what they said. They ended the article like that. They were talking about who knows. Obviously, it starts off as $99, but by the time it gets customized with all the bedazzling or whatever, then it's obviously a guitar that she played.
Yep.
So yeah, nobody knows what the real value of that guitar
I
is.
wonder if she'll continue to use it or if she'll like put it up for auction for charity or something.
Oh, that's a good question.
If it was just like a
Yeah.
one-time, just for that occasion.
Well, that, and it was used at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Right.
So,
Yep.
I mean, there's just so many things going that are that could just increase the garbage out of the price of that guitar.
And somebody will pay for it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That is true.
What is that? It looks nice.
And in honor of Dolly,
It's a Mitchell.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
but it's the Mitchell MS 450 Les Paul
Yeah.
style. It's built really solid. Really like it. I think MSRP was $399 or something like that, and they were doing a sale. It was $250.
Right, but it has locking tuners.
Yeah.
And it has split coils, which are pretty neat for that price. What else? There was one other thing it had. I've seen a lot of good reviews on it.
Yeah, it's nice. It feels really good. A lot of maple.
Yep.
Really great guitar. I've never had an LP style guitar.
Right.
And I'm never going to until we win the lottery. I'm never going to go out and buy a Gibson. Just not going to happen.
Okay.
So, and I know that Epiphone has Les Paul style out there and everything like that. But I saw this and I really liked the translucent black. The price was right. So I'm like, yep, I'm getting it.
Yep. It is. I'm trying to think of what the other thing. I think I read somewhere that it had a maple cap on it, but I'm not sure. I'd have to
That
look
I
at
don't know, and I don't want to say it does, but without looking it up. But no, it's good. I enjoy it. It's a kind of a. They say it's a C-shaped neck, but a lot of people are saying that it's probably closer to a D. But I mean, it definitely feels different. It feels much wider than my Strat.
Okay. That's typical.
Yeah, but it took me a little bit to kind of get comfortable with it, and so I'm still working it.
Yep.
All right. Did you have any more, or you just had those two?
Just those two.
Oh, all right. Well, see, that's what happens, folks. When you don't send us questions, we pick articles and just have a little conversation about it. So if you like the articles, don't contact us. It's that easy.
Or contact us with an article that you
there
want
you
us to
go.
talk about.
Yeah, that would work too. All right. So obviously, we were so excited and amped up about the Joe Bonamassa concert that we kind of forgot to think about what to do after that. So we decided to just do a recap on the project guitar. So I think, Rick, you can run us through kind of go into a little bit more detail of the project.
Okay. I'll talk about the neck first. And one of the things we did was replace the tuners because the tuners were bad in it. Cleaned the neck thoroughly. I took everything out off the neck, including removing the neck from the body. Cleaned the rosewood fingerboard completely. I did polish the frets. I did a lot of stuff there. I also rounded the fingerboard so that it was more comfortable in the hand, and dressed up the frets on the end so that it was easy to play.
How much time was put into that?
Oh, I don't know, probably 4 or 5 hours into the whole thing.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Because I really want to know, because I have a Squire.
Right.
And I would be interested to see what that would play like if the neck was, because you're talking about rounding off the neck, the top side of the neck, the actual fretboard.
Yeah, each side of the fretboard, you round them off to make it more comfortable. And then, of course, you have to not only round that off, you got to redress the ends of the frets, too.
Right.
So, you got to crown them. You got also, I went through and I crowned the frets and leveled the frets off. So, made sure that the fretboard was straight before I did all that. So it's a lot of work.
Do you have the official tools to do that work, or do you just have tools that you have figured out a way to make it work, to do the job that you're looking to do?
Oh, I just use a sledgehammer and an axe. That does it.
Throw out a traffic cone first.
Yes. I'm only kidding. No, I do have the tools to do it.
All right.
They're just special files, the special leveler. I mean, you can buy it at. I know I can give the name of the place that I get stuff like that, but or we can put it out on the Buy Me Coffee type site if you want.
Yep, which is what I'm gonna do. Since we haven't been able to get it out on Buy Me a Coffee periodically as the episodes launch, what I'm gonna do is take all the images and kind of summarize the episodes and the things that you've talked about, and I'm gonna put it up on Buy Me a Coffee approximately the same time that this episode releases. So if you're listening and you want to see pictures, jump out to buymeacoffee.com/pandemic guitar. But I was also going to say or ask if you had that that ruler, that level, and I'm trying to think of what the name of it. I did put it on my Christmas list.
A fret ruler?
Yeah, hold on a second.
Or a leveler? It's got the notches for the frets?
Yep. So it's basically...
Yeah, I have one.
All right, so I might bring my Squire over because I'm thinking that the neck is starting to curve. The headstock is curving up.
Okay.
And I just loosen the strings for now and until I get the tool because I don't want to mess it up.
Okay, not a problem. I can take a look at it.
So.
All right, and we can move on to the body. Any questions about that? The neck?
No, I mean, I think it's really cool. You didn't scallop the neck, right?
No, I did not.
Because I know you were talking about it at one point in time.
I was going to, and I was really thinking about it, but then I decided not to. To scallop rosewood is very easy to do. Maple neck is a little bit harder. Rosewood is softer, so it's easier to scallop.
Right.
Did you put in some pearl inlay or anything fancy like that?
No. I can do that, but I'm not going to.
Well, yeah, because you would have to pull the fretboard off the neck, right?
No, not necessarily.
Oh, all right. So you got the fancy tools for that too.
I do. You need a really good Dremel. You need a router type, or for a holder for the Dremel, and you need the correct. And when I say correct bits, you need the correct bits for the router. If you don't have them, you'll end up with a mess. These bits that for the router to do that push the wood down into the fretboard and not up, because if it pushes it up, you get like a fray or an edge, a bad edge on it, not a clean edge like you need.
Mm-hmm. So,
and then what you would do is you would cut out your pearl, and then you would take and you would fit the pearl in there, and then you would take a piece of rosewood and sand the piece of rosewood to get rosewood dust. Mix it up with a little glue, and then push it into the, you'd have to glue the pearl piece into the neck, and then you'd have to take and mix the stuff up, the rosewood, and push it into the, fill up the crack between the pearl and the rosewood. Then what you do is you just scrape it clean with a razor blade.
Yeah, it sounds like a whole lot of work.
It really does.
It is. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I would just bedazzle the body.
Pull a dolly.
Yeah, that's what it's called.
Pull a dolly.
Yeah. All right, let's jump into the body.
Okay, the body is I did a lot of work on that. Well, not as much as the neck. I did quite a bit of work on the neck. The body had, as you know, had a crack in the pocket with the neck pocket. That was fixed.
Oh yeah.
That's an easy fix, by the way. I also inspected where the bridge, because it has the older style bridge with the floating bridge with the 8 screws, and I also inspected that, made sure nothing was cracked there, and there wasn't anything. And then what I did was any chips in the body and anything like that, and there were a few chips. I fixed all the chips and filled them in and buffed out the body and got that looking really nice.
I was just thinking about this because I'm pulling up pictures now as you're talking about it. Is that 8 or is that 6?
I'm sorry, 6. Yes, 6.
Okay.
Something different.
Okay. Yeah, because when you said that, I was like, wait, they have one with 8?
Oh, I'm sorry. It's 6. Well, they do. They have 7 string guitars and 8 string guitars.
So they use, for the bridge, they typically use a screw per string.
Yes, but then there's also the new floating ones that have the 2 points on each side. They're just a post and a post, one on the top and one on the bottom, and then the bridge floats on those posts.
All right.
You'll see that on the newest style fenders.
And what was I'm trying to remember because it's been a while since I've looked at these pictures, but what was the pickup configuration in this Strat?
It was single coil, SSS, single coil, and single coil.
So it has 3 singles. It
Right.
looks like it's actually, I can't tell. It looks like the body is cut almost where you could do a single and 2 humbuckers.
You can do 2 singles and a humbucker.
2 singles and a humbucker. Okay.
Right. Provided you got the pick guard to handle it.
Right, yeah. So this came with 3 singles, but could you cut that pocket out so you would have room for 3 humbuckers if that's what you wanted to do?
Yes, that's called you'll see that on some of the bodies, the Stratocaster bodies,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just a big cutout between all 3 cavities there.
Yeah.
And that's called a swimming pool.
Okay. Because it holds water, or
No, I wouldn't put any water in it. You ruin the body.
Yeah.
So yes, it could be. You could route it out, and you could make it 3 humbuckers, or you can make it 2 humbuckers and 1 single in the middle.
Yeah. So I just got this one folder for pictures of the body.
Right.
So other than taking everything apart, because I can see there is absolutely no hardware on the body.
Yep.
And you just basically cleaned it out. Was there anything else that you did to the body itself? You fixed the neck pocket.
Yes.
And then clean it.
Clean it. Yeah.
Well, that seems pretty simple.
Yeah, but I also fixed all the scratches and all the dings, and there were a few dings in it and stuff like that. I fixed that all.
Really? So you just buffing it out with car wax, or?
There were like a few little indentations in the body, and you just use a little bit of heat, a little bit of water. You lightly use a moist rag, put it on there, and just use a little, like a soldering iron, a tip, and the water will absorb and expand the wood.
Interesting.
So there's lots of ways, a lot of little tricks.
I would never have thought about doing that.
Then what I do is, if there's any paint there, I mean, if the paint is still there, that's great. But then if it chips, or if I chip it, then what I do is I let it sit for a few days to make sure it's dry, and then I fix it. So, and that's what I had to do on some of that. So I fixed all the scratches. There's no scratches in it.
Got to be like brand new.
Just about. Once I buffed it out, and it looks really good, and then I put my fingerprints on it.
Right. That's the first thing you do.
Yes.
Yeah. I like going to a guitar box and just giving every guitar a high five. Like, how you doing? You're my boy.
Yeah. I also cleaned all the chrome. I mean, when I talk about cleaning the chrome, I took everything apart, including the bridge. I took the saddles, the springs, everything out, everything apart. So it is clean. There's no dirt in it at all.
Yeah, I see that. And actually, I wouldn't have even thought to tear it down that far.
Yeah, well, when I first got the guitar, I thought the intonation was off because of the way the saddles were on there.
Mm-hmm.
They just didn't seem right. I didn't check it. I should have checked it, but so what I did is I just took everything apart and then redid the intonation and got it all correct, and it really is nice now.
Definitely. I don't know if these it looks like these pictures here, you're getting ready to I see one where it's got dirt on it, and then the next one it's all clean. Looks like you're starting to put everything back into the body.
And that took me a few hours to do, excluding fixing the scratches and buffing it out.
It does look nice, though. I can say that.
Mm-hmm.
And Amanda is in complete darkness.
Literally and figuratively, yes. I don't have lights on in here, but also I have no idea what you're talking about. So I'm just here for the ride, guys. Just hanging out.
Hang in there.
How about that setup recap?
Oh yeah, we set up. I put new strings. Well, of course, I had to put the guitar back together. I made sure that the truss rod was there was enough tension on the truss rod for relief. And then what I did was I made sure that the nut was in there correctly. That it didn't need a new nut. That's about the only thing I really didn't do. Is I guess I could have changed it out for a bone nut.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Is it the one that was on there? I'm assuming is plastic.
Yeah, originally. I guess I put enough time into it, so
right.
And then what I did is I reassembled the the floating tremolo system and put that in the guitar. Got everything put on there. I put 9s on there.
Yeah, that's
Stereo 9s.
Yeah, isn't that what you have on almost everything?
No, I have 10s on the Gibsons.
Oh,
I have on the Fenders. I use 9s.
actually, yeah. What'd you say, Diario?
Stereo.
Diario?
Yeah.
Oh, I just picked up a
There you go.
3-pack of looks like it's 9 through 42, the XLs.
Yep, that's what I think. Yeah, I think that's what I get too.
I think, what's the other company? I think it's GHS, the Boomers.
Yeah, GHS.
Yeah,
Yep.
those are the ones I've been using those for quite a long time, but
Yep.
I just noticed that I probably have 5 packages of acoustic strings left, and I'm out of electric. So I was like, might as well pick up some strings.
Always nice to have new ones around, just in case you break or snap an E string.
Yeah, well, I don't play as rough as you.
Well, yeah, but you will eventually. You'll stretch them. What I hate is I start stretching. I start stretching the strings, and I do that manually. I just pull on the strings, and then I tune it, pull on it, tune it, and do that about 5 or 6 times. And then I hate about 3 minutes into playing it, I snap a E string.
Well, you're doing it to yourself.
Yeah, but I got to start looking to make sure the fret didn't, it didn't break on the fret, or it didn't break on the bridge. There's a sharp edge there or something like that. So
Right.
Because you replace the string and breaks again, then it's like you're down 2 strings now.
Yeah. Yeah, especially. Well, I think you actually you have a point of contact or a company or something where can you just buy like a box of high E strings, a box of 9s, or
Yeah, you can. They sell them separately.
yeah, that's almost because I've done that. I have done that before where I'll snap that string while I'm changing them out or something like that, and I'm like, well,
Sure.
crap. Now I gotta pretty much just wasted a whole set for one string.
Right. Usually, what I do is I put them in a plastic. I put those strings in a plastic bag, and then I take and I open up a new set, and then I just save those other ones. I'll eventually get the. I'll go out and I'll find somebody that has the 9s. Diario sells the 9s separately,
Yeah,
and I'll just buy a whole mess of them, and then I'll start using the other ones.
yeah, which that makes sense.
Yeah, I try not to let them go to waste, and then I recycle them too. So I do go through quite a few strings, and I think I have about 4 or 5 pounds of strings right now.
Yeah,
That
I think I have 4 or 5 sets sitting around here that I just need to get to you.
Right. So anyhow, I adjusted the on the setup recap. I did the intonation. I set up the bridge. I set up of course, on the Strat, because there's a floating tremolo, I had to set up the springs in the back and make sure everything was working there. After I got that all done, I did the intonation on it, which I mentioned before, and made sure that the relief in the neck was proper. And after that, I basically called it good. But the thing is, what I didn't mention is I did a lot of work on the electronics too.
Well, that's what I was going to ask, because I know that we have, and we do have some audio, and I'll just put it in post. I'll make sure it fits there. But we do have some audio of what it sounded like before doing anything, and
Right.
what it sounds like after. And you can definitely hear in the before audio that there is some scratchiness.
The way it turned out was, when I purchased it, the guy had told me that he had thought it was either the switch or the potentiometers, the volume and tone controls there.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what he told me. He explained it to me, and I didn't even plug the guitar in and play it because it wasn't really. I could care less at that point,
Right.
I mean, he was upfront and honest. And what I did was, when I got home, I plugged it into into my audio interface and into I think Logic Pro was what I used, and started playing a little bit with it, and I was playing around with the controls and everything like that, and I couldn't hear the scratchiness at first. I moved the switch up and down and stuff like that, which is actually the scratchiness is common with those switches. They're the cheap printed circuit board switches,
Mm-hmm.
the five position switch. So what I did was I started playing around and just started doing things, and what I found out was really interesting. When I moved the tone controls and the volume control, it would start getting very scratchy. But what was really odd was it wasn't just one control; it was all three of them.
Mm-hmm.
So, and what happens is that as I took apart the guitar and I pulled all the pieces out of it, I found out that the output jack on the bottom, they didn't even solder it. Somebody had pulled it out and just wrapped the wires around it. So when you were moving any of the potentiometers, they were loose and they would move a little bit, and that's what caused the scratchiness. So, and I do have an audio clip of that. So, I replaced all the audio in it. I mean, I replaced the potentiometers. It has the CTS pots in it now, the volume and the tone control, and it also has the proper capacitor there. I didn't. I mean, I used an orange drop capacitor. I know it was an overkill for the thing, but it's. I put a lot of time into it, so I figured make it nice.
Yeah, and I'm looking at the pictures, and the pictures that you uploaded for me to use. It doesn't look like that picture of the input jack, the wiring. Doesn't look like that's on there, but I do think you sent it to me in a text, so I'll move that over and put that up as well.
Yeah, I did, and you can see that. I don't know whether. I do know that the pick guard was that particular model. This is an old Chinese. It was a 2000, I believe, is the year of it, and it had just a plain white pick guard on it. And somebody put the white three ply pickup guard on there. So I knew it was replaced. Well, evidently he or she had, just basically cut the wires off the output jack and just wrapped them around the lugs and went from there. So, but anyhow, it got a new 5-position switch. It got a very good one, a Fender 5-position switch. It's got the CTS pots. It got I think it was a .22 microfarad or MFD capacitor, orange drop, and then it got a brand new output jack I put in there, which is much better than the old one, higher quality. And I think I sent you pictures of that.
Yeah, I believe you did.
But that was what I did there. And then for just playing it, it plays really, really nice. I really like it. It's got that good old single coil pickup sound that I know you don't like.
Well, it's not that I don't necessarily like it. It's just I don't gravitate towards it as much as I really like the sound of the humbuckers.
Right. The humbuckers, as I said, are more. It's a fuller type sound that you get out of them.
But I do like single coil because I really like the way that the Telecasters sound.
Right. But you can get a Telecaster with a humbucker too, or you can get one with 2 humbuckers on it.
You can. Now, speaking of Telecasters, I was at Guitar Box the other day, and I sent you a picture. That J Tercer Telecaster.
Yes. Yep.
That thing was gorgeous.
Yep.
And the price wasn't bad, but the wife said no.
Well, only one this time. Huh?
Only one this time.
Cool.
So go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was just going to ask if you. We already know that the project guitar was sub $100.
Yes.
And
$70.
Yeah, $70.
Basically.
So approximately, how much in parts did you have to spend?
Oh, I think the wiring harness. In other words, I got a complete kit for the volume tone, the 5-position switch, and the output jack with including wiring, the old-fashioned cloth wiring.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was like 32 is what I got it for.
Okay.
And I'm trying to think of if there was anything else I replaced on that thing. I think that's about it.
I was going to say, I know it wasn't very much. And then
Right.
obviously, whatever the value of your time is, and that's going to vary from person to person to person. But
Right.
cash out of pocket, you're looking at a guitar that is nice and almost brand new, playability wise. You got to do some work on it, and so now it's yours, and you're at $130.
Yep.
You almost can't even that guitar. If that was a brand new one on the shelf, I think those start out now at like $230.
Yeah, I want to say you're right. Yeah.
$240, somewhere in there, because it's an Affinity. So those obviously cost more than the Bullets, and I think the Bullets start out around 160 to 180, somewhere in there.
Is it? Was it a? Yeah, it is an Affinity, I think.
Well,
Yes,
I think you told me it was.
It's 23 years old. We're going on 23 years old. It's a 2000. It was made in China. It has the original thickness of the Fender Stratocaster, so you can put a full-size bridge in there. I mean, that's about the only thing I didn't do is put. You can put really good pickups in there, and you can put a bridge in there, and you'd have a great guitar.
Yeah.
I'll put it to you this way. I have a Fender Player Strat, and I think they're retailing now for about $800, and I would put it in the same ballpark. If you just replace the pickups, I think it would be in the same ballpark. I mean, playability, it plays great. It plays just like my Fender, but I think if you really wanted to get down and put really good pickups into it, it would sound really, really good.
Oh, I bet. Well, that's the end. We'll just call it the end of Project Guitar number 1. I think we're going to keep our eyes out for Project Guitar number 2. Might wait a little bit after Christmas, maybe.
Right.
And yeah, we'll go from there. So that's the first one. We're just learning, and we'll have another one coming up. You have anything you want to add? Any final words or thoughts on it?
Well, maybe on the next Project Guitar, I'll scallop the neck.
I think that would be cool.
Hoping it's a Strat, but maybe I'll go all out on it, and I'll put nice pickups in it and stuff like that, and redo the neck. I'll put a new bridge in there. Tremolo system in there, and you know what I really would like to do? Be my first one, but I would really like to take and put a Floyd Rose in there.
Oh, wow.
Now the Floyd Rose, in order to put a Floyd Rose in a Stratocaster, I'd have to do some cutting. So it's going to be router time, like Miller time, router time. So, yeah.
Well,
so
we'll see what we can find.
Yeah, there's 2 stages there's 2 depths to the Floyd Rose and stuff like that. So it's an interesting build, but maybe I'll do it on that one. I don't know. We'll see.
And on the next one, you can add the Bejewels. Get yourself a boob job, and you can sell that thing for a lot of money. I'm willing to bet.
Yeah, I got to dye my hair blonde.
Yeah, you need to tease your hair up.
Yeah.
I probably can mess around with some filters and give you a Southern accent.
Yeah. There you go.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and move on. We got a few minutes left, and we always like to do a little bit of This Week in Music History. So it's going to be November 28th through December 3rd. I know I got a bunch of them in there, we do. But go ahead and hit us with the best ones there, Amanda.
Music history. You ready? I'm still waiting for the intro for that. So that'll just have to do for now.
Yeah.
I'll work on something.
All right. That sounds good.
I got a backlog, but I'll work on something.
I'm just going to start with the first one that it makes me a little queasy, but I'm going to say it. 1967, The Monkees' Daydream Believer hits number one in America for the first time of 4 weeks. Yuck.
Wow.
I can't.
For the first of 4 weeks.
Hits number one in America for the first. Oh, for the first of 4 weeks. Okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah. I was wondering if you were going to actually say that one or if you were going to skip it.
No, I just wanted to get it out of the way. And for those of you who don't know and are not familiar, apparently I threw up on Tim's Monkees cassettes back in the day when I was little. Allegedly. I was actually aiming for them the whole time. And so to this day, I'm just a little, I get queasy when it comes to the Monkees, I guess. Especially Daydream Believer. There's just something about it.
I know what I'm slipping into the Christmas music this year.
Please don't. Actually, do the Monkees, did they do a Christmas album?
They did, yeah.
Oh, they did?
I'm pretty sure they did.
Huh. Okay.
I'll do research on the fly.
Yeah. Because I know the Beach Boys did, I think.
Yeah, a lot of groups do.
Okay. And 1 year later, in 1968, Janis Joplin made her final appearance with Big Brother and the Holding Company in San Francisco, California.
There you go, Janis Joplin.
Yeah, she.
Who is the with Big Brother and the Holding Company?
I have no idea.
That was the name of the group.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, you can look it up. I mean, it's.
I know of Janis Joplin. I just didn't know that it was Big Brother and the Holding Company.
Yeah, it's sort of like she's the lead singer, so it's Janis Joplin, and then the Holding Company was the band behind her.
Huh? I'll have to check that out.
What else you got?
Let's see. I think I'm gonna go.
I need that beep 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 breaking news.
Oh my god. I'm gonna go. 1983, MTV aired the full 14-minute version of Michael Jackson's Thriller video for the first time. Regarded as the most influential pop music video of all time, the video was inducted into the National Film Registry of the Library of Congress in 2009. The first music video to ever receive this honor for being culturally, historically, and aesthetically significant. I had no idea that the Thriller video was 14 minutes long.
Yeah, the original full version, yeah.
Like, I remember the song itself was kind of even a little long on the radio, but 14 minutes.
Yeah, because it was it starts off, it's almost kind of like a little sitcom,
like a
They set
movie
you
or
up.
something.
Yeah, because Michael Jackson and his date, they walk out of a movie theater and you know, she's scared because they saw a scary movie and they're walking home and it just goes on from there.
Interesting.
I didn't know that. I did see the movie though. I mean, I did see the
video.
The video.
Do you know the dance too?
Minute.
The Thriller dance?
No.
Okay, so for the last one, so 2020, South Korea, which required men to enlist in the military by the time they turned 28, passed a law to defer service for K-pop stars who have elevated the country's cultural influence around the world until age 30. This kept BTS intact as one of the performers turned 28 3 days later. So BTS is a Korean K-pop group for those who don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know that.
I see them like apparently K-pop has become this huge thing that
they're
like,
huge. They're huge out here. They do huge conferences like conventions for K-pop groups, and they come here from Korea to LA. And people, there's like Korean food vendors. It's a whole thing. It's huge.
I would go for the food. But
Right.
That's it.
Yeah. Have you seen those sticks, the big mozzarella things on a stick? It's like a Korean corn dog,
No.
but it's just mozzarella with a bunch
Uh-uh.
of, oh, well, it looks amazing.
I mean, I've probably seen it as I surf through the reels, but
It's all over
you
the
know.
gram, yeah.
yeah, it's all over the grams, as the kids say.
Now that I've said it, it'll pop up.
Yeah,
just watch.
because the metaverse is listening.
Right.
I did not, and I didn't realize that South Korea required men to enlist in the military by the time they turned 28. So I was like, oh, that's weird. Like, because here we have a choice. It's either you go to jail or you join the military. You know,
Sure.
But for them to say, okay, if you're part of K-pop because it's a cultural influence, we'll hold it off for 2 years till you're 30. So, like, what about BTS, who is probably like one of the most famous? He's got 2 years worth of K-pop fun, and then he's got to go serve in the military, or does he get he gets excused?
No, he has to, because I actually just saw a news article about that said the band, I guess, is taking a break because they have to serve.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
So their last concert, I actually work with a gal who went to a huge convention that they were at in, I don't know if it's San Francisco or San Diego, and that was like their last big bang, because my understanding is that they're taking a break because they all have to enlist.
Finally, the military has done something good.
Right? They should probably stick to singing, but it's just my opinion.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
It's crazy. And apparently there's other countries that have that requirement as well.
Mm-hmm.
Who knew?
Yep.
Well, I think that's pretty much it. We have no idea what we're going to talk about in 2 weeks. We haven't gotten that far.
Well, it'll probably be a Christmas episode, right?
No. No, it won't.
No.
So not this next one. So number 10 won't be the Christmas episode. Number 11 would be, which would come out on December 29th.
Oh, but then we're past Christmas at that point.
You're still
So
in the
true.
mood. You haven't
Nah.
hit. Yeah. I mean, we could do a Christmas episode for number 10, but that airs on the 15th. So this episode, it's the 1st of December, and then the 15th of December, and then the 29th. And then we have successfully made it through 2022, and episode number 12 will be the first episode of 2023.
Gotcha. I think it makes more sense
Wow.
to do the Christmas episode before Christmas.
Well,
Just
come
my
up with
opinion.
a game plan.
Hey, I can have a game plan for you.
All right, I like it.
All right, I've got some ideas up
Okay.
here.
All right.
All right.
Well,
Okay.
then
Remember, they got to be guitar related.
Duh. What do you think? I'm going to talk about
Okay,
knitting?
all right,
I mean,
all right.
what do you think? I understand the concept of this podcast.
this special episode is all about underwater basket weaving.
Yes. Underwater basket
I've never
weaving.
even
I
heard
can't
of
even
that.
imagine that.
Yeah. You have not heard of underwater basket weaving.
No,
No.
Oh, wow. I thought everybody heard about it.
no.
How about knitting underwater?
That
I
sounds
mean,
soggy.
Yeah.
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 All right.
All right. So this episode, this will be the first. So look forward to a Christmas episode on the 15th
Yeah.
of December.
That sounds great.
All right. Well, I'll see everybody in 2 weeks.
See ya.
Yep. Bye, everybody.